Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Riley Reedhead from reallyriley.org. If you've tried to access my website, you'll find that it's not up yet. It's still in the works, but it is coming for sure. So if you have any questions or you've tried to reach some of my resources from my website, please see the description box below to email me with any questions or if you would just like some help setting up your VIPKid classroom or needing prop recommendations, or you would like to apply for VIPKid. So please see the description box below. All right, today's video is all about props. Yay! All about props. In today's video, I want to talk about my top 5 classroom props. So let's start with number 1. My most used prop in my classroom is my phone, believe it or not. There's so many ways you can use your phone in the classroom. My top 3 ways to use my phone in the classroom is first for reward systems. Second, I like to use it for pictures or sounds. So I have an app that downloads all kinds of sounds. So there's a unit in level 3 that talks about all kinds of different sounds. And also pictures. So I can do pictures of family, I can do pictures of food, I can do pictures of places maybe they've never seen before or landmarks. Different kinds of things like that. It is a great resource. If you're going to use your phone, I recommend that you do some class preparation before class so that you're not scrolling through your phone during class. That looks kind of bad. But using your phone as a prop is a great resource. It's a great resource. Number 2 is reward systems. I love reward systems and I have lots of them, which is why I'm not going to go into very much detail in this video about my reward systems because you guessed it, next week my video is all about reward systems. Reward systems for older students, reward systems for younger students, all kinds of reward systems. Reward systems on your phone, reward systems that are interactive. I'm just so excited to make this video for you. I love reward systems. I love getting creative and integrating my students' interest into a reward system, and it just makes it really fun. So tune in next week for that reward systems video. Number 3 is printed props. I printed out a ton of props when I first started, but as I've continued teaching, I've narrowed it down to about 3 different types of printed props that I use the most. So number 1 would be animals. I have all kinds of different animals. I've got cats, I've got chickens, I've got fish, I've got horses, all kinds of different animals. So when I first started, I didn't have my son, I didn't have any nieces or nephews, so there were no toys in my house. It was just me and my husband. So I downloaded, printed and colored a lot of my own props and also laminated them. That was a big thing. So number 1 was animals. Number 2 is food. So I've got desserts, I've got fruits such as apples and bananas, I've got vegetables like corn and carrots. I also did noodles. There's a lesson that includes noodles. So lots of different food varieties, fruits, vegetables, bread, those kinds of things. They're all great to have and they come in handy a lot, I find. The third thing that I use the most in my classroom is colors. There's a whole unit on colors. And it's great to have these colors because then I can pull them up for the warm-up song. I can pull them out to talk about a different color. And the thing that I love about colors too is I can introduce the color and then I can say, oh, look for something blue. Can you find something blue? And the kids will look around their room or around wherever they are and find something blue or something red. And so it just becomes very interactive. But those are my top 3 props. So again, top 3 printed props. I would suggest animals, food, and colors. Those are the 3 most printed props that I use the most. You can also do real props like little toy animals. You can buy little animals, you can do stuffed animals, whatever works for you. Honestly, I would use what you have around your house. You can bring in realia, so you could bring in real food, which I think the kids would love that. I've done that a couple times actually with like a banana or an apple. They like that, and it helps them make a real life connection too. You could also do animals. Maybe you have a dog, or maybe you have a cat. Maybe you could bring it into your classroom. Maybe your students have dogs or cats. So Realia is also a great resource for props if you don't have printed ones, or you can use your phone. You can use pictures on your phone of animals or food, like I said before. So those are the top 3 printed props that I use in my classroom. Also, if you're going to do printed props, I would suggest investing in a good printer. I have a Brother laser printer, but it's just black and white, so that's why I had to buy markers and crayons, and I had to color all of my own props, which became a little stressful at times. But once it was all done, they were great resources to have. Also, I invested in a laminator. I have a Scotch laminator, and I had to buy the laminator and the laminating paper, but it was a great investment. I still use my laminator, even not just in making props, but around my house. So your printer, your Brother laser printer, you're looking around the $100, $150 range, and your Scotch laminator, I think it was around $30. So I felt like that was a reasonable price for both things. And laser printers are great because you don't have to go out and buy ink all the time. So that is a plus with laser printers. Number 4 is a whiteboard. Whiteboards are such a helpful prop to have in your classroom. You can use them to write letters. When I first started, I made all my own flashcards for letters, for numbers, for punctuation marks. Here's some of them. But I found it became a hassle to find them all the time and to keep them organized. So instead of doing that, I write my letters on my whiteboard. I use it for prefixes and suffixes. I use it for blending. I can use it to draw objects. So for example, if I didn't have an apple, I could draw a picture of an apple and then show my students. I also use my whiteboard as a reward system, believe it or not. It's a great resource as well. So there's so many different things that you can use your whiteboard for. It is a great resource. So I would highly recommend, you absolutely need a whiteboard in your classroom. It is such a great tool. Number 5, the last prop that I use the most in my classroom is he, she, and it. For my he, I have Mike. For my she, I have Meg, and for my it, I have Dino. Like my little printed props, they're kind of tiny. We use he, she, and it at VIPKid to do a lot of conjugation of verbs. So we do that in almost every single lesson. And you can use it with your younger students as they're learning it, and with your older students as a review. So I would recommend having he, she, and it. You don't have to use Meg, Mike, and Dino. You can use other things like just a boy and a girl. You can also use dolls or puppets. You can do those too for he, she, and it. If you're not going to do Dino, you could do an animal or something like that. Like I have a dog who's my son stole. He sleeps with it at night, so I guess I can't blame him. And it's my dog puppet. I can use it for it sleeps. Just different things like that, but they come in handy because you use it in almost every lesson, especially in level 2. All right, that is my top 5 classroom props. Let's go through them quickly in review. Number 1 is my phone. I use it for all kinds of different things. You can use it for pictures, you can use it for food, for sounds, you can use it for reward systems. Your phone is a great resource, so be sure to include that in your classroom. Number 2 is reward systems. Make sure that you have a variety and that you tune in next week to hear about my reward systems for both older and younger students and what I look for and how I make them interactive and engaging for my students. Number 3 is printed props. Remember, my top 3 are animals, food, and colors, but you can go through your own lessons and determine what props you need or that you will use the most. These are just the ones that I use the most. And I also teach lower level students, but if you teach higher level students, you might consider some different props as well. Also, you can include Realia instead of printed props if you would rather, or you can, instead of doing printed props, you can do actual props like little mini animals or stuffed animals or stuffed or play food. different things like that. Number 4 is a whiteboard. Once again, a very versatile and useful prop to have in your classroom. You can use it for all kinds of things, from reward systems to prefixes and suffixes to drawing, all kinds of things. It's a great resource to have. Number 5 is he, she, and it. Remember, it can be printed. It could be a printed prop, it could be dolls or puppets. It doesn't have to be Meg, Mike, or Dino. It could be just a he, she, and an it. Maybe you use an animal for your it instead of Dino. Whatever you choose to do, make sure that you include that in your classroom. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching my video on my top 5 classroom props. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, see the description box for my email below, or leave a comment on this video and I will be happy to respond. I'm so excited that you tuned into this video. I hope once again that you found it helpful, and I will see you next week for my reward system video. Goodbye!